If the truth be told, and we were being totally honest, most of us don't like waiting. Particularly if we're waiting for something to change or something to get better. Waiting can be a very frustrating experience. Have you ever been at a red light that won't change? It means you're stuck there. Things aren't letting you go forward. But the worst kind of waiting of all is waiting on God. When God forces you to wait for things to get better in your life, for things to improve, to change, to reverse, and nothing is happening. He's got me waiting too long for my destiny, for my purpose, for my provision, to reverse my circumstances. Many of us are like Habakkuk, chapter 1, verse 2, when he cries out, "How long, O Lord, how long? Do I have to call on you and you do not answer?" He says in chapter 2, verse 3, he hears the words, "You gotta wait." It's bad enough to have to wait, but then to have to wait and you not tell me how long? You're leaving me stuck. You're not answering me and you're not giving me any information. The unfulfilled dreams. And you're just waiting. Sometimes it gets so bad it feels like God is scraping a rake over your soul. And yet, over and over and over and over and over again in the Bible, we're told to wait on the Lord. Let me give you the definition of waiting on the Lord. Waiting on the Lord biblically means to not go outside of God to resolve your issue. I'll give you a definition. To wait on the Lord means to not go outside of God to fix the issue you're waiting for. There is the temptation when you are waiting on God to intervene in your circumstance, and He is taking His time, not talking to you, to take care of it yourself, outside of His revealed will. Where you abandon His word, you abandon His will, because you are tired of waiting. And since God, you're not going to fix it, I'll fix it. And so you stop waiting on the Lord and you take matters into your own hands. James chapter 5 talks about this a little bit when James says in verse 7, "Therefore be patient, brethren, until the coming," that is the divine intervention of the Lord. He says, wait on the Lord. Don't go outside of God. Okay, watch this. Because if you go outside of God to make it happen apart from God, you delay God in His intervention. One of the ways he says in James 5, you know you're delaying God is you're spending a lot of your time complaining instead of worshiping. If you have a complaining spirit, that's not just being honest about a problem. That means that you have become a whiner against God and against others because you're tired of waiting. He says instead of God being your deliverer, He now must be your judge. You do not go outside of God to make happen what you're waiting for God to happen because you delay it happening. In the Bible, there are many illustrations of people having to wait on God to fulfill his word in their lives. Abraham and Sarah had to wait 25 years before the promise of God for a child according to his will. It got delayed because they went in the flesh. They had to wait. Negatively, waiting on God means not going outside of God to resolve the issue. And nothing and no one illustrates these two things like the story of Joseph. There was a timing aspect to Joseph's life. Now, watch this. We are told he sent a man, Joseph. Don't miss that. He sent Joseph. But wait a minute. How did he send him? One reason that God has waiting, you waiting, me waiting, us waiting for various things is he's doing something bigger than you. I know you are going through it, but what he's doing is bigger than you. And because he's plaiting things together, like a rope or a braid of hair being plaited together, he's taking a strand here and a strand there and a strand there. He's hooking something up, and you're just one strand. So he's doing something bigger. Why did he send Joseph? He said he sent Joseph before them. In other words, he sent Joseph ahead of his other brothers and Jacob, his father. He sent Joseph ahead to prepare the way for the rest of the family to come in order to build the nation in the land of Egypt. So while Joseph was the one being sent, he was being sent for a bigger purpose. That's why when Joseph finally realized what God was doing, he says, God sent me here to save y'all. One of the reasons you are waiting is because God is up to something bigger than just you. But how did he send him? Well, guess what? His brothers got jealous. His brothers got jealous of the coat of many colors his father made for him. That got him thrown into a pit. He was thrown into a pit, argued that he was dead. His brothers sold him to the Ishmaelites as a slave. He wound up being taken in slavery and sold in Egypt to Potiphar's house. Once in Potiphar's house, it looked like things were getting better until one day he's accused of rape. Even though he didn't commit rape, he is thrown in jail. Guess how God sent him? He sent him through things that went wrong in his life. He sent him through things that were going backwards in his life. He sent him through one negative situation after another negative situation, and he's miserable while God is sending. I'm trying to figure it out. He says, my ways are inscrutable. But he says, I'm not sleeping. I don't get weary, neither do I get tired. Well, God, how do I make it in the meantime? He answers, he gives strength to the weary. And to those who lack might, he increases power. Though youths grow weary and tired, and vigorous young men stumble badly, yet they who wait for the Lord. So now we're back to waiting. Watch this now. Here's how you know God is with you while you wait. He gives you new strength. That's what he says. He gives new strength. God says the way you know that I am with you is I recharge you when you're running out of juice. So watch this. And he says, I recharge you in one of three ways. The first way, those who wait upon the Lord, verse 31, will gain new strength, a strength you didn't have before. One, they will mount up with wings like eagles. An eagle who gives birth to eaglets puts sharp objects in the nest. thorns and broken tree limbs and things that are sticky. Then she covers the nest with leaves and soft things over top the thorny things. So that as the eaglets in the nest grow, she wants to kick them out of the nest. Like your teenagers, you want to get rid of them. So when they get bigger, she takes the soft things away, the leaves and the soft things, leaving behind the sharp things to create an irritation. So now the eaglets are irritated and want to get out the nest because the eagle says it's time for you to fly on your own. So things have become so uncomfortable in the nest that she pushes them out because they're too irritated in the nest. But the problem is they have never flown before. So they're out there trying to make it. But when the eagle sees that the eaglet cannot make it, she swoops down with eagle wings, and her talons reach down and catches the falling eagle on her wings and delivers it back to the nest until it's time to try it again. When God sees that you're falling and you're not going to make it, he swoops down out of nowhere and catches you by his grace and lifts you out of that situation. It's called divine intervention. When God comes out of nowhere, brings something into your life that catches you when you thought you were going to lose your mind, that catches you when you were ready to quit. What he's letting you know is, I'm not ready to change it, but I do want you to know I'm here. And so he swoops down. That's one way. Way number two, he says, and they will run and not get tired. This is when God gives you a second wind. This is when you're running and you know you get to that place when you're running when you don't think you can make it. But if you keep going, you pick up this second wind, this ability to go further than you were thought to go. So what he does is he kind of runs alongside you. He sees you, huffing and puffing, and he'll pat you on the backside. Come on. You're going to make it. And all of a sudden, you want to know where this second wind came from and how can I keep going? That's called new strength. He doesn't swoop down and lifts you out of it. What he does is come alongside and keeps you going in it. There's a third way. He closes with the third way. He says, and you shall walk and not become weary. This is when God doesn't swoop down and deliver you out of it. Eagle's wings. He doesn't give you a second wind. You got to walk. You know when you have to walk? When you're hurting too bad to run. God provides some encouragement along the way. Something just to talk to you. And you know the beauty of an encouragement? The beauty of encouragement, it makes you forget you're walking. Because you're talking and you're fellowshipping and you're going along. That's why God created the church, so that you don't have to walk alone. So that you don't have to be by yourself. Church isn't just for sermons and for songs. It's so that you don't have to walk alone. You don't have to stand alone. You don't have to be by yourself. You know, they've got these moving sidewalks. So when folks have a lot of luggage, they get on the moving sidewalks. The moving sidewalks is underneath them. So you can walk, but while you walk, you're being carried. Because you can't leave the heavy stuff behind. You need something to lighten the load. And some of you here today, you're carrying too much luggage. You're carrying too much weight. It's too heavy to walk on your own. So God provides a moving sidewalk, something to undergird you as you walk until the load gets lifted. But whether it's swooping down, running, or encouragement by walking, in either way, you get new strength. As you wait on the Lord, he recharges your battery.